All right, it's recording.
Hello, my name is Carley Hale. I am an interactive media and marketing major. I consider myself an interactive media designer because I design across numerous mediums. Today, I would like to present to you some of my design pieces from my portfolio, as well as share with you the reason why I chose a design career. Oh. To start, I would like to present and introduce some of my influences. The first is Yusuf Karsh. He was an American and Canadian photographer. The reason that I love Karsh so much is because not only did he strive to have great lighting and a good composition, but he really wanted to capture the person in the photo and show them in their own environment. Individuality was a huge part of why he was a photographer. And so in the same way, I aspire to do this in my design. I don't want to just create a good design, but I want to really capture the company or the event and really what it's all about through the design work. My second is Paula Scher. She's probably my favorite. She's a graphic designer from New York City. And I love Paula because I feel like we have a lot of similarities, not just in graphic design, but she pushes me in other areas of life. She went to art school to be an illustrator, but she soon learned that she had an eye for typography and layout design. And I can relate to that. And whenever she was 22, she wrote a children's book. And when she was 28, she started her own company. And those are two aspirations that I really want to do in life. So moving forward with my own work, I did not find art. Art literally found me. When I was in high school, I got asked if I wanted to join the yearbook staff, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but we hit the ground running, and I fell in love with design. And I knew after those 3 years of doing that I wanted to do a career in it. And so most of my work has to do with commercial advertising and layout design. The first that I'll present to y'all it's a Colorado football posters. This was done for a high school in Texas, and they came to me wanting posters for their locker room. Their mascot, they're the Wolves. And so just like Karsh, I decided that rather make just a basic background, I wanted to implement and put where wolves are located, which is the woods. And so have this background in the poster. For the big poster on the left, we have their first name. And then for the small poster, we have their last name. And so here's an actual image of the posters in the locker room. And then second is Pastella's Bakery, a local graduate from Magnolia. She came to me in summer of 2020. She wanted to open up her own bakery business, and she knew that she wanted the logo to be called her bakery to be called Pastella's, but she knew she wanted it to be in her own handwriting, and she knew she wanted the colors to be blue and pink. And so I decided to play with her brand name Pastella's, which means cakes, and use a pinkish pastel color in her logo. And then I'm actually excited because this summer, I'm really busy with school, but this summer I will actually get to help her with her official website. And then we're actually going to do a photo shoot. So it'll create a great more experience. And then this project with Mule Cake, this really set me as a designer. It was my first real life experience and work. And in 2018, the owners of Mule Cake, they came to the graphic design program and they wanted a student to design for them a logo. And so it was a competition, and mine was one out of two that was chosen. And since their business named Mule Cake was based on the university, I thought to implement and use SAU's school colors. Since they chose one of two, mine was used mainly for the online branding, social media work, but it actually became a t-shirt design and was used for a jug and has a metal plaque in their restaurant, which is super cool. Then in January of 2021, the owners came to me and they kind of wanted to revamp and edit the logo. They're doing an event with the Murphy Arts District known as MAD, and so we had to change the colors. We also added an old Derek, and had at MAD. Because this design work was so new, I don't have any further content with the design in it, but hopefully in the future, y'all will see the logo. My favorite project has been ISI Ministries. They have given me the most experience just all around across the board. The pastors of ISI, they came to me summer of 2020 wanting a logo because they were going to be a new college ministry on campus. And they knew that they wanted their color to be a light blue. And they really wanted to use a mountain because a mountain really to them symbolizes life, how there's the hills and the valleys. And so rather than just making a vector mountain, I really wanted to add ISI in the mountain to give it that depth and for the design to be just more than two-dimensional. In fall of 2020, they wanted a banner to hang for events that they would do on campus. And so in the banner, we added the verse that ISI is based off of, which is Proverbs 27:17. And then I put actually what ISI stands for, which is iron sharpens iron. And then we put their pillars, discipleship, consecration, intercession, and worship at the bottom. Here is an actual image of the banner when it got produced. And then that summer of 2020, I actually got to do their website through Squarespace. And this was great experience. I had never done web design up until this point. And so I learned the limitations, but the pros and cons to web design as a designer. Also, it takes a ton of time, but it was really great. And I learned that I really love web design and it's something that I probably want to do moving forward in the future. And here's a link if y'all want to go to their website, you can. But here's a mock-up of that. And then in the fall, late fall, they wanted to sell t-shirts to the students who attend ISI regularly. And so this was the design that I came up with. And they really emphasized the mountain when we were creating the logo. So I wanted the rays to point to the mountain since that was their big focal point. And in December of 2020, I actually got to design for them a newsletter. They wanted to send it to their donors who partner and give to the ministry and kind of give them an update of what happened in the fall of 2020. And again, I'll get to do this summer moving forward, so there'll be more experience in that. And then in the summer of 2019, I got to do an internship for a company called Tokai Carbon CB. They're actually a Japanese company, but this is their American based in Fort Worth. And the marketing guy had no design experience. And so my task was to design for them a corporate newsletter that would be online and multi-page. And I got a lot of design freedom because nobody there knew really about design. That has its pros and cons. But this was the design piece, some of the pages that I designed. And the CEO from Japan, he enjoyed the logo, or sorry, not the logo, the newsletter so much that they hired me part-time. And I actually got to do one for October of 2019 and another in February, right before the pandemic in 2020. And then moving forward, these are some of my academic projects. This was a quote poster that we were given the task to pick a quote and make an image out of it. This challenged me as a designer because, again, I'm not super great at illustration, but I had to illustrate through a quote. And I decided to do a light bulb since the quote was based on how you should turn the light on. And then my last project was an event poster called Surfing in Arkansas. We had to create a poster as well as another design element, and I chose to do a sticker. And so in Arkansas, as you can see, it's black and red, and I chose the colors because the University of Arkansas school colors are red, black, and white. And then Arkansas has a ton of trees, so I decided to make the leaves in the poster and in the design elements based on Arkansas's four most popular leaves, which is the maple, the hickory, the oak, and the pine. Here is a mock-up. And thank y'all so much for y'all's time. I would love to hear if y'all have any questions or comments.